A very good day to all of you here today. I would like to thank the organizers for giving me the privilege of addressing this forum. I would also like to express my sincere regrets for my inability to be here in person with all of you. I am deeply thankful to the organizers for allowing me the facility of sending over a video recording of my talk that could be played to the audience. At no other time in human history has there been such a remarkable growth in the amount of information and knowledge that we have access to. The term information explosion has become a cliche. Information bases are growing at mind-boggling speed. Every 5-year period sees doubling and tripling of the size of the information base. We are no longer in any position to keep up with even a tiny fraction of the amount. From 1990 to the present day, the volume of information that has accumulated has grown from a small 2 exabytes, in itself not a small amount, to a staggering 79,000 exabytes today. I, for one, don't know how they calculate these things, but taking it at face value, our minds, excellent as they are, cannot grasp in any meaningful way the size of this magnitude, the size or what it means when we talk about dimensions of this size. We are drowning in this vast ocean, terrified by the prospect of going out and finding out what we need to know. Today, we're in the middle of what is known as the information economy. The main resource at stake, the currency for day-to-day transaction, is our attention and not our money. We find ourselves caught up in a pitched battle between the enormous content that is available for consumption, social media, YouTube, what have you, and our attention, which is very limited. Our current situation, therefore, is like an explorer who's trying to find a way through dense, impenetrable, dangerous terrain. What I am attempting to do in this talk today is to show you and demonstrate to you some tools and techniques for staying safe in the jungle of information. The starting point in the map, so to speak, is a good search engine. There are any number available, but for our purpose as caregivers and health professionals, my strong recommendation is Google Scholar. Why do I say this? And this is because it satisfies all the criteria of what is known as the CRAP mnemonic, C-R-A-A-P, there is an extra A there. It produces results that are current, in other words, recent in their origin, timely, relevant to the topic of concern, accurate in terms of the items recovered, and from sources that are authoritative and genuine, and last of all, they serve the purpose that we are looking for. If you take these criteria, Google Scholar is an excellent search engine for our purposes. The key strategy that we have to deploy and learn to deploy is the skill of asking answerable questions. Our queries, especially in this world of huge information, cannot be vague and haphazard, but have to be structured in a manner that can give the best yield. 4 elements have to be addressed. The population we are looking at, what is known as the indicator variable or the intervention that we are assessing, the outcome of the intervention, and optionally a comparison against another intervention or an existing gold standard. I will illustrate this through what is called a use case. Let us say we're looking at this question: the role and value of physician's assistants in caring for patients with diabetic foot problems. It's a common clinical situation that we are all likely to encounter. We start with the population. In our case, it is people with the diabetic foot. You need to spend time making this criterion as narrow as possible. Using broad terms will overwhelm you with results. The narrower it is, the better the result. We feed it into the search bar of the Google Scholar, and I have used quotes to enclose the term to make sure that the whole phrase is present and not just either or one of the words. 284,000 results. I can hear you laughing at this. The result is huge, but that is expected. And this is the reason for using this mnemonic that we're talking about. Let's proceed with sharpening the query and see what happens. To the population, we add the indicator variable. In our case, the variable we're looking for is physician assistant. Once again, enclosed in quotes. And now we get a huge trimming job to a much smaller 535. Let's keep going with the remaining two criteria. We add the outcome variable that we're interested in, that is quality, and there is a further trimming of 428 results. Lastly, let's compare the quality against that provided by nurses. When you do that now, you come down to 379 from the original 284,000 that we began with. Looking at the results, we can note right away that they're all of value and pertinent to our search. This is why I recommend Google Scholar over other search engines. Nothing else delivers this value in terms of what we are looking at as healthcare providers. From the list we have created, this article looks quite promising, almost bang on for what we are trying to see. To assess the quality of this information, you need to verify two more things. First, the standard of the source of this paper, in this case, the Journal of Diabetes and its Complications, and next, the credentials of the author or the first author if there are many. It's easy. The internet gives you immediate access. Google the name of the author and you can find the background. In this case, this person has a reputation in precisely the area we're interested. Someone who was dedicated to diabetic foot prevention, diagnosis, and treatment, so that's good. You can also check institutional affiliations of where that work is coming from. Here again, a long-standing, reputable center. There is no limit at all using the internet to the depth to which you can dig into information sources. How good is the journal that is publishing the paper? This is a very important concern in the age of fake news and predatory journals that abound. We look for something called the Journal Impact Factor. It's an objective numerical measure of the influence and importance of the journal. There's a handy tool available at this site. It's called www.bioxbio.com. It's free to use and popular. The value of any publication depends on the number of times articles in this journal are cited as a reference in other papers during a specific period. The bigger the number, the better the quality of the paper. And we will see some examples as we go along. Now, just type in the name of the journal that we are interested in. Journal of Diabetes and its Complications. Click on a link from the list provided using the current year, and you will get a table of the impact factor over the past several years. Now, what does this number mean? We saw already that the bigger the number, the better the journal. In this case, as far as this journal is concerned, it's somewhere around 2 to 3, rather low. For comparison, I am showing you the impact factor of some of the more famous medical journals like the NEJM, the Lancet, JAMA, and Cancer. As you can see, their impact score is in the hundreds. The impact factor is in itself just a number that is a useful guide and not a on-off absolute number. Excellent articles can be published in low-impact journals that are very narrowly focused. So now, we have the tools and the ability to map our own routes through the internet jungle. This strategy can be used for any and all clinical situations, and as always, practice makes perfect. Now, watch out for what we call clickbait. These are articles that have 3 features that trap you into the rabbit hole of the internet. Their headlines are sensational, very deceptive in terms of what is addressed, and they use language that is emotionally charged and likely to grab your attention. Now, here's an example. New study reveals the secret cure for high blood pressure that Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. You get the drift, right? Stay away from this kind of hooks and traps. Now, there is another important thing that you have to learn to do. You have to learn to distinguish between articles that provide evidence against those that express opinions, however highly regarded the source. These include editorials, opinion pieces, news articles, and content sponsored by commercial interests and groups. They may make interesting reading, but can lead you astray with the writer's bias. Just everywhere you turn today, the talk on the street is about artificial intelligence and the hundreds of apps that use it. What will the future of our quest look like? I would like to show you one very fascinating tool that exists. There is an AI-based search engine for science called Consensus. It belongs to the well-known ChatGPT family, and here is the URL. It's a tremendous tool. It harnesses an artificial intelligence that is specifically tailored for medical referencing and other scientific referencing. You can filter your search with a long list of criteria, including the year, the type of the study, randomized controlled trials, so on and so forth. The catch, however, is that it's subscription-based, but the cost of the ticket is a very reasonable amount considering what you get. Let's explore what we can do with Consensus. To start, it allows natural language queries. I have put it in the example that we looked at the quality of the diabetic foot care by PAs. Right on top, you get a short, easy-to-digest summary and the number of papers that AI felt would be relevant to your query. That's just for starters. Let's move on to the main course. Like any good tool, the hits are listed along with a short bio about the article. A button gives you a pop-up window with a snapshot of the study. As we discussed earlier, citation numbers are also provided. Click on the article you want to read and you get a nicely formatted page, a view of the paper. There's a box giving you the key takeaways from this paper. There are links to full text sources. It also links this article to another very powerful tool called the Semantic Scholar. You want more? Consensus very helpfully gives you a list of suggested queries that can expand on the present subject that you're looking for. Everywhere you look, AI is changing the face of how we work and provide services. Healthcare is no exception. As more of these tools appear, and let me assure you that this is only the beginning, healthcare providers are going to be both empowered and challenged. I hope that this presentation has been useful in providing you the tools and insights that you need for enhancing your professional capabilities, especially in the rather dramatic times that we're in. Once again, I thank the organizers for the courtesy of allowing me to make this presentation in absentia. Thank you.